Hello, my name's Max. I'm allergic to cold, and 7 years ago and 1 month I made my first YouTube video about being allergic to cold, and today I am going to react to my first YouTube video. Yay! I have never watched it outside of the editing and the captioning. Once it was up, I never watched it. I might have watched it like as it went up, because, you know, it's all novel and interesting, but I've never watched it since. I am 30 now, and I was 23 when I filmed that. I was going through it with the media, finding out I was allergic to cold, and then being really queerphobic about it, weirdly. And I have no idea what I said. I had no real plan on making YouTube videos long term. It was something I thought I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about, all of the different videos that I wanted to make, because at the time of making, I think I only really wanted to make Cold Urticaria videos. So I googled it and it said find your niche. That's niche. Let's go. I think I know how to do this. I need to move, and I'm going to put me somewhere here. Hi, my name's Max. I'm allergic to cold. Okay. Okay. My voice is a bit different now. I think it's because I don't stop talking. I've just worn it down. Who is that? And I made a little intro. I used to watch a lot of YouTubers and they all had intros, and I thought I needed one. I should have planned this, because they're all in different orientations, they're all different and it's quite long. Okay, so I think for what I was doing at the time, that was quite a good intro. It had some science on it, so the rocking thing, that was, I was doing some antibody staining for a Western blot thingy. I was playing a lot of wheelchair basketball because I had just finished university. I just graduated in December 2018, and then Cold Urticaria press frenzy in January 2019, YouTube video in February 2019. So that kind of all made sense, but I hadn't put it together that because I'd graduated, the wheelchair basketball was probably going to stop. Okay. So yeah, I have a condition called Cold Urticaria, and it basically means that I am allergic to the cold. So when I go outside and it's cold, any part of my skin that is uncovered or it gets exposed to the cold, it will come up in a very, very cute red, bumpy, itchy rash. And it includes stuff like when I breathe in, all the cold air that goes into my lungs become very angry. I still describe it exactly like that. Just slightly lower pitched, I think. That's still the same. That is exactly how I describe it now. I do come up in a very, very cute itchy rash when I am exposed to cold, and breathing cold air does make my lungs really angry and wheezy. And I get lots of wheezing, I get lots of swelling in the airways, and it's just not very nice. Not very nice is an understatement. Just put a jumper on. It doesn't really work that way. It's not so much about being cold or feeling a bit chilly. It's actual exposure to cold, like just touching something cold, wherever that touches, that's gonna itch. I actually haven't received the comment, just put a jumper on, in quite a long time. I forgot how annoying it was. I fully get it. I just want to go back and give him a hug, to be honest. So that I do cover up most of my skin, every time I go outside anyway, sometimes in the house. This is quite warm, I'm wearing a nice knit cardigan, and there's not really that much of me that's exposed, and I've got the heating on, and I'm wearing a hat. Yes, you are wearing a hat, Tiny Max. The lighting in this video is alarming. I look blue. I look blue. I mean, I look white as a ghost now. I wouldn't say I've figured out the lighting, but this is better. Where I was sitting was like way in the back of my room. I had taken some pointers from the internet about like don't sit right in front of a open like a window for lighting because it can change. I don't know why I thought that sitting far back from that same window would not have the same effect, but here we are. And I did used to wear a hat all the time. I think I slept in that thing. And the clothing as well. When you say you're allergic to cold, if you have exposed skin, people do want to judge you. But also when you cover up, they also want to judge you. Who would have thought? Nobody really knows quite what causes it. I developed mine completely out of the blue when I was about 14 years old. I was just chilling. I was just sat on the grass doing kid stuff. And then I stood up and my legs were just covered in this horrible rash. And it was very itchy, uncomfortable and confusing because we didn't know why. So we just kind of assumed that it was allergic to grass, extreme hay fever, maybe there was pesticides on the grass, something, maybe even bug bites. We had no idea what it was. I was at a car show and it was my friend's birthday and we had taken her to the car show, and we just spent the entire time running to and from the car because whenever I got out of the car I came up with this huge rash, and it was so much bigger than I've ever been able to show on here because it just, when it developed the first time, it was so big. And it calmed down a little bit, so the rash got like smaller, the hives get smaller, but they were huge. They were like the size of my fist. As time went on, I just became allergic at weird times. So because we thought it was a grass allergy, I avoided grass. I then just had a random allergic reaction in my bedroom one day. My hands swelled up when I unloaded the dishwasher. I would lean on a table and then suddenly I would get a rash on the part of my arm that had touched it. And it was getting weird. We didn't know even that it was an allergy. We thought maybe it was bug bites. So like I would be in school and I would have like leaned my arm on the table, got the rash, and then I'd be like, wait, I need some Germaline, some antiseptic to make this go away. Well, now I know that that's silly, but I didn't at the time. And then one day I just realised that I was cold, where I was itchy, and I was like, well, it only seems to happen when I'm cold. Is that a thing? And I think my dad at first thought I was completely crazy. He did. But he googled it anyway because he is a reasonably smart man well, yeah, he's smart at other stuff. But he googled it because he knows he's not a doctor. And then once we googled it and it was like, this is a thing, he then took me to an actual doctor. You can read more in the card over there about my dad's perspective on Cold Urticaria and this whole journey. This Max had no idea that my dad would then come on the channel and talk about Cold Urticaria. And then we googled it. We went on Dr. Google, everyone's favourite for medical knowledge and diagnosis. But we just googled like, can you be allergic to cold, or can the cold make an allergy worse? And then Cold Urticaria came up. And the rest is history, I guess. I took it to a doctor and I was like, you are gonna think that I am nuts, but I think I'm allergic to cold. And we googled it and it is a thing, and he was just like, oh yeah, cool, it's a thing. And then he was like, take some antihistamines, here you go, see ya. Ever since then I've taken antihistamines every day. If only all diagnoses could be that easy. Young Max, baby Max here, did not know that we would then go on another diagnostic journey for the same thing, because a GP wouldn't believe another GP that this rare disease can actually be diagnosed in a person because, oh, it's so rare, you can't actually have it. And the whole changing antihistamines when loratadine stopped working, and then the whole fexofenadine journey. I actually don't take antihistamines anymore. I just live with it. The fexofenadine was giving me way more headaches, and because I'm allergic to the red food colouring, it just became harder and harder to get ones that I could have, because then I started using a prescription delivery service and they could never guarantee that I was getting the right medication. And it's now available over the counter, so I will still take it if it's like if I'm having a bad time, but generally I'm so good at living with it, heavy air quotes, that I don't really need the antihistamines unless it's extreme cold, and I just feel better for it. And I'm still allergic most of the time. So yeah, recently I was in the news for it, and a lot of people also with cold urticaria were like, you should vlog, tell me about your life. So here is my life. Oh god. Yeah, here is my life. Here is my life indeed. This Max had no idea that unemployment was going to hit me so hard. This Max had no idea that there was going to be a global pandemic. This Max had no idea that disability was such a contentious issue in the workplace. This Max had no idea that the world isn't cut out for non-binary people and people panic over paperwork. This Max honestly thought that this was going to be like a 6-week hobby, they get a job and they get bored. So we'll start with the cold stuff. We'll keep going with the cold stuff for now. So I wear fog masks when I go outside because I get really wheezy, and sometimes it's just not worth being wheezy. Like if I'm going out to buy more antihistamines, it's just kind of being nerfed. So I think I was downplaying the wearing a mask because I was on the receiving end of quite a bit of drama about it from just people outside. I would wear it every day. Every time I went outside I would wear it. It wasn't just if I wasn't taking my antihistamines, it was every day. I also shouldn't have been calling them fog masks because they were not branded fog masks. I thought it was like a Hoover, where it's sort of, there's a brand, but then all the vacuum cleaners are Hoovers. That wasn't in fact the case. Nobody sued me. Hopefully they're still not going to. But I bought them as fog masks. Now I just call them masks. I wear these, and it doesn't have like a vent on it, so all the air gets trapped inside the mask and my face, and it warms up so I don't have to breathe cold air straight out of the sky, which is lovely. I had such a way with words. I think I still have such a way with words. I do miss like crisp fresh air on like a winter morning, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do for your health. I walk around looking like this a lot of the time. Not awkward at all. Not at all. It's not awkward unless we let it be awkward. I even said it there, you have to do what you have to do for your health, and this means I can breathe safely outside without lots of pain and wheezing. And I also think I started to make it look good. So yeah, this little ribbon, don't know if you can see that. It's the unofficial Cold Urticaria badge, because there is no official Cold Urticaria badge. I considered making one and then I was like, I can't be bothered. But I think what we would use is the chronic urticaria one, which is a white ribbon with purple polka dots on it to represent the urticaria rash. I was thinking of using like a blue ribbon with snowflakes on it, like a Christmas ribbon. Didn't really kick off anywhere, and I decided not to push it to kick off. There's a chronic urticaria one, yes, and there we go. White, and there's purple dots on it, and it's like that's supposed to represent the rash. But then this one has cute little snowflakes on it. I think it represents being allergic to cold a lot better than the white and purple one. That and keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So yes, I say this a lot. I've got a sleeve full of snowflakes, and I still love snowflake decorations. I don't have many up at the moment, but I still stand by that. I like the symbol of a snowflake for cold urticaria. And then also, Baby Max here did not know I also had visual snow syndrome. There wasn't the language for it. It's not a new disease, it just has a name now. So I have 2 snowflake disorders. King of the snowflakes, me. So that's why I have a snowflake pin on the other side. It's not just a winter problem. Everyone I speak to, they're like, oh, just move somewhere warmer. I'm like, yeah, but that's fine in theory, but when you
when you're allergic to cold.
I cannot get over how young I sound and how young I look. That is a baby.
How do you cool down? Because the sweat drying on my skin, that can bring me out an allergic reaction. Sometimes when I cry, my tears will cool down on my face and then I get even puffier and itchier than just normal crying. It's like I can't drink iced drinks, can't eat ice cream, I can't put ice packs on my skin.
I said I can't. I can. It's just I get symptoms, I get discomfort and I get itchiness. So like I can drink an iced drink, my throat will be itchy, I might be wheezy, my mouth might be a bit swollen, but I can do it, and I do. Like if I go to a pub, if they ask if I want ice, I say no, but if the drink arrives and it has ice, I just drink it. I probably won't touch the glass much, and ideally if there's a straw, brilliant, but I can do it. And sometimes iced drinks are just better. I now would change drastically how I talked about cold urticaria here, and in my younger days. I fear while I was trying not to scaremonger, I was scaremongering by the fact that I kept saying I can't. I could. I couldn't comfortably, but I could.
I can't have a cold shower. How am I going to cool down? On top of being allergic to cold, I also have a condition called fibromyalgia.
No, I don't. I have a condition called hypermobile ehlers-danlos syndrome, which for so many people gets misdiagnosed as fibromyalgia, because fibromyalgia is pain without cause, typically. It's probably changed now, I'm actually not up to date on fibromyalgia anymore. But no, I have EDS because there were just years of being dismissed by doctors.
Which, if you know, you know. It's basically chronic pain and nobody really knows what causes it either, which is a lot of fun. There are so many symptoms, we'll go over it in another day, but it's basically like pain, fatigue, difficulty controlling your body temperature.
Yeah. I was also living with symptoms of autonomic nervous system dysfunction and POTS and dysautonomia. Those are all kind of the same umbrella term depending where you look. That is also an issue with controlling body temperature. So is being malnourished from the ARFID that I didn't know I had and didn't have the language to talk about. Also being poor, not having enough money to put the heating on whenever you need to, or buy the clothes that you need to be cool enough or warm enough. I think fibromyalgia unfairly took the blame for that.
And now I have fibromyalgia not helping. So my life is a little bit interesting.
That is the understatement of the century. My life is a little bit interesting. My life is completely bizarre. If time travel was a thing, I would love to go back and visit this Max and be like, hey, so you're unemployed for a very long time, but once you get employed, you still do stuff like this. You travel the world, you go and perform in Germany dressed as a shark in German Sign Language in Graf Zeppelin House. You climb a mountain in Norway, you work with Deaf Identity, your favourite fashion brand, and you create your own line of, your own slogan design and do British Science Week with them. What else do? You learn enough Arabic to teach kids about DNA in it with BSL2. You like working with children. I'm always going to be child free. That's not my thing. But this one, if you said, hey, do you want to do things with kids? I'd be, no. And now it's like a highlight when I get to do that. My life is just so interesting. Every day is wild.
Medically. So yeah. And I guess a little more about me and why I'm doing this. Big tea drinker.
That mug! I lost that mug. I don't know where it's gone. It disappeared. Coffee drinker.
With my chronic pain issues, I use a wheelchair sometimes because, well, for many reasons. Also probably down the line. But I don't use it all the time. Sometimes I have a good day and I can walk around and do what I need to do on foot. Other days I need to be in my wheelchair, and that's okay.
That is okay. But I haven't needed to use my wheelchair in 4 years. It's also so weird looking at myself with clear lenses. I'm just like, wow, you can actually see the colour of your eyes, that's cool. Wild.
I play wheelchair basketball, coach wheelchair basketball, and I did start doing an introduction to refereeing, but...
I mean, I finished introduction to refereeing.
The way that works, I would have to referee the running game and then convert over to wheelchair basketball. It's a lot harder when you can't actually run up and down the court with the players, so it's just kind of... I just kind of know how to do it for fun.
Yeah, so I just learned how to do it for fun, and then I would sort of referee while I was coaching. It actually helped me become a better coach for it, because I knew the rules. I mean, obviously I knew the rules, but knowing them from like a refereeing perspective makes it a bit easier, a bit different, and I also got a whistle, so then that helped too.
Anything else about me? Short?
Great. I don't think any of the videos on my channel have me stood up with my full body anywhere near a reference point. I don't know if that was the plan, and I don't think you needed to know that I was short. I think it's probably not really relevant.
Lots of allergies. Lots of allergies to other stuff. So maybe I'll make food videos, probably not. Every meal I eat is a depression meal. It's quite...
I don't know why I thought the internet really needed to know this. I mean, I continue to make videos about exactly that, but in an I have learned better how to introduce myself in 7 years.
Meal. It's quite sad. Maybe I'll fix that. That can be my New Year's resolution. Big science nerd. I have a master's degree in pharmacology research, which is fun. My thesis focused on asthma, so you can ask me about that if you like.
Yeah. I'm going to put a link over there to my master's thesis. I did talk about it in probably a bit too much detail. I've still got the poster. It makes the rounds when I go and do student degree showcases and stuff. Yeah, big science nerd, that hasn't changed. I am a scientist, full-fledged scientist. Why didn't I lead with that instead of every meal I eat is a depression meal? Just say you have depression, man.
I think I'd like to study Cold Urticaria more because we know nothing about it. And it's really annoying. I just want to like not be allergic to my own face. Like, I don't know if you've ever had wind blow into your eye and then it makes it water a little bit, and that also cools down on my face and makes me allergic, and I think just being allergic to my own face is not... That is not how I thought my life would be.
Yeah. None of this is where I thought my life would be, but I am still allergic to my own face. I probably wouldn't describe it like that now.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Oh my god. I have no idea. I don't know the answer to this question. We're now in 7 years' time. Let's see.
Probably swollen up somewhere. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. You can...
Okay, if time travel is ever invented, I'm gonna go back to this moment and be like, why was that the question when you knew that's what the answer would be? In 10 years' time, probably swollen up somewhere. Yeah, maybe, probably. I would like to think something more than that.
If you have any questions or there is something that I've missed because it's a badly scripted video, yeah, do drop me a message, pop a comment in, and I will do a Q&A eventually because my whole life is a Q&A.
Okay, well, that's an advert. I don't think we need to see the goodbye. What was that? What was that? I was right, it was a badly scripted video. I don't think I scripted it at all. I just chatted, which is, I mean, I haven't scripted this one either. But yeah, that was, I look so young, I sound so young, I don't know what happened to my voice and why. Yeah, that was weird. That was thoroughly weird, slightly uncomfortable. I wasn't full of the confidence I have now. I was very much feeling my feelings at that moment. Living with depression, just coming to the end of a master's degree, like the last 4 years had been about survival, and I didn't really take any time to rest between that, media, and channel. Oh, I don't know, I think, yeah, that was really odd. I wouldn't describe myself like that anymore. It's, hi, my name is Max, I'm allergic to cold, I'm also disabled, I'm also queer, I'm also a druid. I wasn't a druid when I started the channel either, that's fun. I'm a scientist, a multi-award winning activist, advocate, over there, see, ta-da! I have green hair now, instead of red. When I started I had red hair, then I grew it out and it went natural, and then very much unnatural hair. That was my first ever YouTube video, compared to the latest one, I suppose. If you liked this, drop me a like. Any comments or questions or follow-ups, you know where to put them, down in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Videos go up once a month, on a Saturday, somewhere in the middle, unless my life is being chaotic, in which case it's probably as close to the end of the month as possible to be. See ya!